welcome to Brett Davis Unleashed, coming to you from beautiful IQ Podcast in Coronado. You can call it Coronado Island, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
At Attorney King Studios. My guest today is Rebecca Jade, a good friend of the show and somebody that I think is probably the greatest talent in the country.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. I'll accept that.
So what's going on with this whole COVID thing? What are you up to right now? What's going on?
Oh, man, absolutely nothing. I'm kicking up my feet and just, watching TV. I totally kid. I've been super busy.
I don't see you kicking back watching TV. I see you writing songs, practicing.
Exactly. All that, all the above. Actually, I've done 3 live stream concerts at home. Mm-hmm. Preparing for that has been its own challenges, but really worthwhile. I'm really glad we've done that. I had been working on music. I had 3 of my original songs mixed and recorded 3 new songs while on this home quarantine. I have been practicing. Yeah, I've been practicing, of course, trying to keep singing, even because I haven't been singing much. So been doing that, and but also trying to work on some instruments as well. So I've been picking up the bass and a little bit on piano too. So just trying to keep my mind busy, keep it moving. So
how long have you played the piano?
Well, not very long.
Did you start as a little kid?
I did a little bit. So I have some foundation. I actually took piano lessons when I was a kid for about 3 years. So probably around 8 or 9, something like that, for 3 years. But then I fought it. With my parents always tried to get me to sit down and practice, and I just didn't do it. So it wasn't.
Was it because your mind was all over the place, or was it because singing for you was such a passion?
Well, I think it's probably a mixture of both. And the third thing would be I was also really into athletics.
Really?
So I was very much an athlete.
I don't think we've ever talked about that.
Oh, yeah. I went to college, got a full basketball scholarship.
We did talk about it. Now I remember.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I played sports my whole life. And so it was a bit of a dichotomous upbringing between music and, or the arts in general, because I did theater and all that stuff. And then also lots of sports. I played baseballs on the swim team. I played basketball, tennis, all these things. But then when I first started playing basketball is when I really fell in love with the sport. And
I love basketball.
Yeah, me too.
I used to live in Phoenix for a period of time. I used to go to the Suns games.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I did that, and so I was playing piano, but I just enjoyed being outside, running around with my friends, playing ditch and tag and hide and seek and football. And
isn't it amazing how sophisticated kids are today compared to what you're talking about?
Man, it's like a weird
right
split world.
So, do you write music too?
I do. It's been my newest endeavor because I've been writing for a few years now, but I think I always kind of hesitated, not knowing if that was my strength, but I knew that was something I wanted to do because I felt like singing, I should have at least some point of view in some of my music. And I thought it would be one way would be to try to learn how to write songs. So I'm really, really fortunate to work with a lot of wonderful people who supported that. A good friend of mine who lives in LA, his name's Carnell Harrell. He's been a wonderful partner in these songs. So I'll give him, since I don't really play an instrument, although I'm learning, I'll send him just my audio tracks. And one of them I sent a bass, idea what I was kind of hearing on the bass and stuff. And then he would just build this whole track around my bass, my music, my vocals. And then I'd be like, man, he just picked up a lot of what I was hearing musically. So we're really getting in sync with that, which has been wonderful. And then even if I go, well, you know what, if you could change this, and he'll just change it. And then we would replace what he created on a computer with live instrumentation. I really want live music. I want live instrumentation. So we replaced all the parts that he made on the computer with live music. And so that all this is all brand new music. This next album I have coming out is all music that I've written. And my friend Carnell
amazing.
Created the music.
But when I'm getting to know you and the times that we've talked, you kind of get a feel for somebody.
Yeah.
And I know we don't know each other real well, but instinctively I thought, I bet you could write some really great music. Because you have a way of getting your emotion out when you talk, when you sing. And I thought, I bet it would be really interesting to see some of the things she could write.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And this has been really an interesting venture. I keep telling myself, and my motto has been, as an artist, as maybe if any other artists are watching, you could probably relate. We're very we're very creative, and also I would say, man, I'm just speaking for myself, but also very insecure. You know, I mean, artists are in general are just very there's that element of it, and I think
is in your mind that maybe you think maybe it's not good enough?
Totally. Okay. I have that argument with myself on a regular basis, you know, but, you know, I've had to lean on something, you know, one of my favorite quotes is, many of life's failures are people who do not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. That's by Thomas Edison. And
went to his house in January.
Nice.
Been to his house before?
No. Where is it?
Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Interesting place.
I bet. So
15-hour days there he spent.
Wow, that makes sense, you know. And so that's helped kind of be a driving force for me for many years. I mean, I've been able to do music full time for a living for 11 years now. And there's been times when that's not been you know, easy. So I take that quote and really has helped push me along. And now my new mantra for myself is do it anyway. You know, so it's like, okay, I'm really not comfortable. Do it anyway. Okay, I'm not really a great songwriter. Do it anyway. Like, I'm just trying to keep myself going, because I'd rather fall flat on my face, fail, than not try at all. So that's been my motto.
And repetition is the mother of skill.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep practicing and practicing.
It gets better. It gets better.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like sculpture.
Exactly.
Yep. A little bit every day, different angle, different look, different line.
Totally. So it's been my newest journey. I've been writing, and it's been really wonderful.
Is there a song you can share with us?
Sure.
Can I put you on the spot? You're like, Mr. Brett, I'm going to put you on the spot one of these times when I interview you.
Right.
I'll let you do that one time. You can put me on the spot next time.
All right.
Okay.
I like it. Let's see. Oh gosh, now I have to think about how it starts. Okay, so one of them I've sung that I wrote. It's a very positive song, hopefully motivating song. Let's see, it's called "What's It Gonna Be." I know sometimes it's hard to recognize your power when all the world seems to be bringing you down. You want to hide behind the comforts of a lie to ease the pain of not believing you deserve the crown. Don't let no one take away your place in the sun. Don't let no one win your race. No, you've only just begun. You can fight or you can hide, run away or take it in stride. Tell me, what's it gonna be? You might lose or you might win, as long as you stand strong to the very end, yeah. Tell me, what's it gonna be?
She's the only one that sings and gives me chills. Feel it? You too? It's the soul. You know what it is? It's the soul. It hits the soul is what it is. All her stuff. Every time you do that, it's just like nobody else can do that to me.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's why I love your music.
Thank you.
And it's not music that you hear all the time. I mean, it's not your top 40 stuff. This is stuff that's unique. It's beautiful. So what is that song about?
Exactly what it means. I mean, like I was just mentioning, it's that point of you know, you can run or you can hide, you know, or just take life in stride. So it can be with anything. It can be with what you might be dealing with. And I'll tell you a story, and I'm totally sidebarring, but it's related. It's just for whatever that is to you, of that, if there's something that you need to battle, if there's something that you're dealing with. At my church, I'm the artistic director at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, and I sang that. It's in Encinitas.
Is it?
Yeah.
Seaside
Center for Spiritual Living.
Is that every Sunday?
Yeah, every Sunday. Right now we're doing live stream because of, you know, the whole COVID thing. So there's no congregation, but you can
I like to go there sometime once this all clears up.
Really
Sarah and I like to pop by and check it out.
It's really great. It's really just uplifting. motivating, message.
Healing for the soul.
Healing for the soul. Yeah. It's and so I sang that song. I get to be the guest artist there sometimes too,
Why not?
I know the person who books it, so
Hey, God, I'm sure God loves it.
No, well, yeah, and the minister, the head minister there, his name is Reverend Christian, and he's just like, make sure you book yourself there. He requested, so I obliged, and so I did that song at Seaside, not too a couple, like when I first wrote the song, and I had a lady come up to me the next Sunday with tears in her eyes, and she said, your song spoke to me last week. I was dealing with something at work. I was dealing with like some harassment thing. And, I was going to give up. I was going to give up and just quit my job and just try to, she said, your song spoke to me that Sunday. The next day I went to, HR and I just dealt with it. The other person was able to be fired or removed from the situation. And she's like, your song gave me that motivation. And that, whether this song reaches anybody else, was enough for me to know that was worth it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so that's what that song is for. It's for those people for myself, I'm speaking to myself as well, but also anybody else who wants to listen or is hopefully motivated by it. It's just that you can do it. It's just an uplifting song that, even through trials and tribulations, just stay the course. You might fail, and that's okay too, but just do it.
Not attempting is failing to me.
I agree.
How many songs are going to be on the new album?
Probably 8 to 10. Okay. I'm not sure yet. Right now we have 6, 7 actually, technically.
So you're sitting on some material you've written, and you're kind of circling it and wondering if that's the song.
Yeah.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
You have a lot of things you probably have that you've done already, but you haven't really released it possibly.
Yes and no. I don't have a lot sitting in my arsenal, so to speak. I've been kind of writing the record as I go,
Yeah.
So I and it's almost like I'll write a song and go, oh, I don't know if this one fits the vibe. Like I have one that to me seems like it's not quite the vibe of the rest of the record, but I put it out anyway, just because, it's like kind of an Amy Winehouse vibe, whereas everything else is a little bit more like R&B neo soul, and then out comes this kind of like 50s throwback Amy Winehouse-y vibe, So
I love her.
It's a little out of pocket.
I loved her voice.
I did too. I am a huge fan of hers. She's definitely gone way too soon.
Way too soon.
Yeah. But I love her vibe. I love that she brought it. She's really the kind of one of the first ones to bring it back. Bring back that throwback vibe. And
she was a throwback.
Yeah, totally.
You're a throwback.
I think so, a little bit.
I mean, I know you have a lot of varieties of things that you do, but when I see you, I see somebody that's lived many lives. Through your music, the way you respond, the way you act, everything. Not to say that you're old, because you're not. You're very young, but you have this wisdom that comes across in your music, and it's very beautiful and spiritual. But sometimes when I've seen you in the past when we talked, I wonder what some of the old standards, what you could do with some of those. In my mind, I'm like, I think you did it out of the park.
Yeah. Well, my upbringing is jazz, 100%. My mom is a jazz singer, and so that was my foundation, 100%.
So who did you like? Ella.
I loved Ella. Billie Holiday was my favorite.
That's my favorite.
Really?
That's my favorite too.
Billie.
Do you know Billie there's something about Billie, right?
Something about her. She was so deep. Her
magic,
voice was magic is a good word. Yeah. And she had her own issues, her own trials and tribulations, of course. But man, I mean, there was something in the tone of her voice that just cut through, and I was listening to her before I ever understood, trying to dissect a voice. I was drawn to whatever that was. It was something about her.
You know what I think it was? And I mean, I'm not an expert in music like you are, but when I hear her voice and when she sings, kind of like you, in a little bit of a different way, you feel the words. You feel it's almost like you feel where she's at, like you're there with her.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that, huh?
Right. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So your music continues to evolve.
Yes.
What are some of your plans coming up? You've got an event coming up.
I do. I've been asked. So, with this whole COVID thing, people are trying to be creative.
Which is just right up your alley.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I was contacted to be part of a drive-in type of concert. So this Saturday, July 11th.
So you're doing a drive-by?
Doing a drive-by music. Exactly. And no, it would be like a theater. Sorry, not a theater. It'll be outdoor stage, and cars will drive in and get to sit. You sit and enjoy the concert. So it'll be myself. I believe I'm the opening act, and then there will be Kyle Eastwood will be after me, and then finish up with Steve Oliver on the closing act. It'll be 7:00 till 10 on a Saturday. And people can get link to the tickets on my website, which is RebeccaJade.com, and just go to the calendar, find the date, and come hang out with us. It should be really fun, really different. I've never done anything like this, so we'll see.
So you say drive-in. So I mean, can people park like they're going to watch a movie?
Yeah,
and you're going to be.
I think you have to stay in your car. I think that's part of
right.
Yeah,
and you'll be on the screen.
On the screen, on the stage somewhere.
Will you be? So I mean, will you be there, but not?
Yeah, no, I'll be there. It'll be a live performance. So.
But everybody will be in their car.
The people will be in their car.
That's the most fascinating thing.
Isn't that the trip?
Have you done anything like that before?
I've never done it before. No.
So how people can get the popcorn?
I think you get to bring your own snacks. BYOS.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna take everything off the desk. We're gonna get in the car and we're gonna go see Rebecca perform.
There we go. Bring the goodies.
We got the red vines. We got the Starburst.
Yes, I would like some after my show too. Please. Thank you.
Hey, Mikasa, Sukasa, right?
Awesome. Thank you.
It's always great to have you around.
Thank you.
And I always love talking to you.
Thank you.
What advice could you give to people out there that maybe are feeling down? Yeah, maybe feel stuck and they don't know what to do. What could you tell them?
Well, I've been feeling that way. I've had moments of feeling that way myself. And I think it's okay to be in that moment and acknowledge it, not to try to just, whatever. Maybe acknowledge why you're feeling that way, and then try to find things that, without going overboard, but just things that make you happy, and maybe just to step away from it, I think is okay too. Like, I think I've gotten myself in the cycle, with the news media and stuff like that. And I had to back away from that. I had to find, I'm sure it's easy to do.
It just zaps you.
It totally does. And there were moments I really was just in just, and I've never even said this about myself, but it was probably like a legit depression, of feeling that way, of being in this like feeling of like, God, this is really a sad, really devastating moment for us, you know? But it's good. And there's the plus side of, of acknowledging that we are going through hopefully a morphing phase for us as a community, as a culture, as Americans, and so so there was that. And then there's, of course, the COVID thing of just, I know everybody's situation is different. We all live in different situations. You might be, if you're forced to stay at home, you're on top of each other, literally like no space, and so, but I think everybody needs to find something to give them their, like I said, it's just my opinion, obviously, and I'm no doctor, but, just something to just separate yourself. So my husband and I, he's got his space, I have mine. And so even though he's working, he's able to work, I'm not. So I'm home and I'm working, I'm keeping busy, I'm trying to keep myself active. So I'm trying to find things that keep my mind going instead of, spiraling into, this endless abyss that is a possibility.
So this is a great time to start maybe things like you're doing different things.
Totally.
To keep yourself energized, keep your mind clear, to keep the creative process going.
Absolutely.
There was a period of time, I can't remember when back in history, maybe the Dark Ages, to a point where disease was just taking over.
Right. And
some of the biggest inventions and breakthroughs happened.
That makes sense.
And they didn't have all the technology.
Right.
So I'm thinking there's going to be some great breakthroughs. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of good music.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of healing. We need to look at our country and our people and figure out why we're not more united and why we're not more one.
Right.
Because I'll be honest with you, I I don't. This is going to sound. I don't see racism. I don't for me because I'm not black. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of friends that are, but I have to say that I think that I don't see people different. I just don't. I don't see people different. I see people as people. I see people, they're good people. I see them, they're bad people. That's all I see. I don't see this whole this whole color thing. I never seen it that way.
But can you acknowledge that other people do?
Yes.
Yeah. And can you acknowledge that other people that are not of color have racism?
Yes.
Well, that's a start. That's good.
because I know I've met people that are racist.
Sure.
You know, and I can't imagine what it'd be like to be black and then be characterized. And I'm not going to say that happens all the time, but we have to learn in this country that we need to be more loving to each other.
I 100% agree.
And not judge people. We need to just look at people as people and find a way to get back to that. Because I didn't grow up that way. I played sports. You know, sports is very uniting.
100%.
Do you ever, when you play against people, do you ever, honestly, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Everybody went to everybody's house. We ate at each other's, different foods. Everybody kind of gave each other a hard time.
Yeah.
But there was never this, and we defended each other whenever, and there was never. So I don't know why we can't do that in the regular country like we've done with sports and music.
I think not enough people played sports.
But what can we take from that? What is it? What's going on there that we can,
Well, usually it depends. I mean, I guess also where you're from, but a lot of, I'm sure I only grew up over here on the West Coast here in San Diego. So it's very beautifully. Exactly. And so my experience has been absolutely multicultural. And my best friend was Iranian growing up, so he was my downstairs neighbor and he was my bestest friend. And we just connected. I learned about pita bread from him. And,
I love pita bread.
You just learn from being around other people and other cultures, and my dad's German. So I'm also multiracial myself, I think from sports, you just learn how to be around people and you accept them because you get to know them as a person and you're not judging them off of just something over there, and that's super important. That also comes in, I think, music as well, it's a lot of crossover with that as well, but I know not a lot of people are involved in music, but I guess not a lot of people are involved in sports either. I don't know. I really wish
there's something we can take from that though, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be something we can take to apply, right?
I would think so, but that would I think athletes have a tendency, there's a lot of things you take away from being in sports. You learn how to work with somebody. It doesn't even matter what their race is. You learn how to work with somebody. You understand how to, to not give up. You just try to fight to the very end, to the last buzzer. You learn work ethic. You learn teamwork. You learn
how to disagree to agree.
How to disagree. Yeah, and
agree to disagree.
Or that you both work to get to the end result. You might have different ways of getting to that, but your end result is this, and it's that's the end result, and you want to come to it together. So I think a lot of it is just being, we have a way of judging each other without knowing each other.
Yeah, I see. I don't get that. But I don't get that because I don't do that. I try not to judge people.
That's just you. We're talking about millions of people who don't think that way.
Well, that's the problem. We need an education in that area, and again, we need to be better listeners and love.
I agree, 100%. Because I'm the same way as you. I'm in the sense, I have experienced racism. My husband's experienced racism. Most of my Black friends and people of color, Mexicans, Latinos, have experienced racism. So it's hard for me to sit here and say that it's not a real thing because you haven't experienced it. You know what I mean? Or that you haven't seen it because I personally have,
Well, I've experienced it.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But I mean, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
but I mean, I get it, but not on a daily basis.
Right.
It's different.
It is different, Yeah.
I appreciate your realism, your heart, your soul. I appreciate you and your husband, actually both of you.
Thank you.
And I love when we get together, and I feel like it's positive what we do.
100%.
And I think there's more you can do. I mean, you're doing a lot, but I think there's more we can do to reach out to people and help them. I really do.
I would love that.
And I think you have the ability. I think you could heal a lot more people.
Thank you.
I believe that.
If we can find a way, I'm down to do it.
Rebecca Jade is just an amazing person and individual and my friend. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for listening. This has been one of my favorite shows, and I always have favorite shows, but this is like, I'm just excited when New Shoe is going to be here today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I want to thank my sponsors, Attorney King, because without him, we wouldn't have electricity. I also want to thank Indian Motorcycle, and I know you don't like street bikes; you're more about the speed.
I have both, actually.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we talked about that.
Okay,
and I have a street bike and a Harley.
I gotta give Indian a try. And then Cosmopolitan Restaurant Hotel. Thanks everybody, and God bless.